Whether it be from a fairy tale, urban legend, or ancient mythology, creatures of all shapes and sizes exist in stories from every corner of the world. However, to the surprise and dismay of many, some of these creatures are more than just a cleverly crafted work of fiction. Tonight's countdown: 5 mythical creatures that turned out to be real. For centuries, the sea serpent was determined to be one of the most interesting undiscovered cryptozoological mysteries in the world. Sightings of these awe-inspiring and generally frightening creatures have occurred sporadically throughout history, even up until the early 20th century. From the eastern North American coast to distant European waters, tales of large, serpentine aquatic beasts exist around the globe. The descriptions vary, ranging from horse-headed creatures to massive snakes. Researchers speculate, however, that various misidentified animals can account for the sea serpent sightings. One elusive species is a particularly likely source for many of these sightings. The oarfish, also known as the ribbonfish, is a massive, elongated, serpent-esque fish that can be found worldwide. It is the longest of all bony fish, the largest recorded being 56 feet in length. Oarfish typically dwell in the deeper regions of the ocean, but occasionally wash ashore in severe weather, lingering at the surface near death. A live oarfish was filmed for the first time in 2001, demonstrating its rarity and reclusive tendencies. The Bondegezou, also known as the Man of the Forests, is a legendary ancestral spirit of the Moni people in western Indonesia. Described as a tree dweller, the creature resembles a small man covered in black and white fur. It is said to climb trees, but often stands on the forest floor in a bipedal fashion. In the 1980s, a photograph of the Bondegezou was sent to an Australian research scientist named Tim Flannery, who initially identified the creature as a young tree kangaroo. However, in May of 1994, Flannery conducted a wildlife survey of the area and discovered that the animal pictured was new to science altogether. The creature is now called a dingiso, also known as Dendrolagus imbiso, a forest-dwelling marsupial with bold coloration that spends most of its time on the ground. The dingiso still remains a rare sight, as the first real evidence of the creature was only the skins, and to this day, no dingiso exists in captivity. The devil bird, also known as the Ulama, is a frightening horned bird of Sri Lankan mythology. This creature is rarely seen, but is often heard in the form of its infamous blood-curdling screams. Its cries are said to resemble that of a wailing woman, and are perceived by locals as an omen of death and despair. For centuries, the nightly wailing of the devil bird were the only evidence of its existence. In fact, Western science wrote it off as simply a mere superstition. But in 2001, the devil bird was identified as a new species of owl, the spot-bellied eagle owl. The largest of all Sri Lankan owls, the spot-bellied owl matches the description of the Ulama perfectly, right down to the characteristic screeching and the tufted horns. Although some debate still remains as to the true identity of the devil bird, the spot-bellied eagle owl stands out as the most obvious source of inspiration for this mysterious creature. In medieval folklore, the Ziphius, also known as the water owl, was a nautical monster said to attack ships faring in the northern seas. It was said to possess the body of a fish and the head of an owl, complete with massive eyes and a wedge-shaped beak. Ziphius, meaning sword-like in Latin, may refer to the creature's fin, which was said to pierce the hulls of ships like a sword. Today, the inspiration for the Ziphius is known as Cuvier's beaked whale, also known as the goose-beaked whale. This creature is found as far north as the Shetland Islands, and as south as Tierra del Fuego at the tip of South America. It is the only member of the genus Ziphius, which bears the name of its legendary predecessor. Legends of colossal giant squids have circulated throughout the world since ancient times. Aristotle and Pliny the Elder both described similar creatures. Legends such as the Lucia of the Caribbean, Scylla of ancient Greece, and the sea monk of medieval Europe all describe a bizarre and frequently dangerous nautical creature. Perhaps the most famous legendary squid is the Norse legend of the Kraken, a huge tentacled beast as large as an island that devoured ships. Prior to the 1870s, Scientists held such creatures as nothing more than mythos, comparable to mermaids or even sea serpents. Despite this, investigations into the existence of the Kraken took place as early as the 1840s. Danish zoologist Johan Japetus Strinsup methodically researched and cataloged giant squid sightings, eventually examining a beached corpse and designating the beast's scientific name, Architeuthis. Even so, other scientists remained skeptical and continued to dismiss sightings and evidence. In the 1870s, the skepticism stopped as several carcasses were beached in Labrador and Newfoundland. Tentacles and complete corpses revealed to the scientific community that the giant squid was indeed real. Today, this creature remains just as mysterious and rare. Typically living at great depths, giant squid sightings are uncommon and often go undocumented. For a century, scientists dutifully attempted to observe it in its natural habitat, but failed. However, in 2004, a group of Japanese scientists were able to capture a live giant squid on camera, taking around 500 automatic photographs before the creature swam back into the darkness. Very little is known about the creature's habits and lifestyle, and it is still unknown how large a giant squid can actually grow. The largest specimens are between 30 and 40 feet long, weighing over 100 pounds. However, its close relative, the colossal squid, may grow to even larger sizes, based on the size of sucker marks left on sperm whales that have encountered them. There we have it. Sometimes the creatures of legend can be found in the world around us. We just have to keep looking for them. Thanks for watching, and be sure to join me next week for another episode of Miss Lovely's Legends and Lore.